Hello, dear Aquarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your June 2021 horoscope. And if I told you that this is probably the fourth time that I've recorded this video, don't be surprised. You probably wouldn't be, especially if you're experiencing Mercury retrograde in Gemini. That's the theme for June for all signs. But this applies to your sun, moon, or rising sign in Aquarius. And yeah, we're all feeling it. We're all being affected in some way, shape, or form. And Mercury, our little trickster planet, as well as the planet of messages, communication, how we process information and learn, travel. It is retrograding officially on May 29th until June 21st, 22nd, depending on where you are in the world. And it doesn't move out of shadow until the first part of July. So we're feeling a lot of this energy, a lot of these influences, if you will, from this particular planet. Now, the winged god, Mercury, it travels so fast around the sun, bringing messages. It also has been a guide. Mercury was considered the guide for those souls going to the underworld. And so one of the things I just want to point out is that even though Mercury retrograde often can bring in fogginess and confusion, and things aren't what they appear to be, it can feel deceptive, there can also be a guidance for us. And the guidance comes from listening to our intuition. And Mercury in Gemini is making a natural trine to your sun, moon, or rising sign, most likely letting you feel the effects of feeling a bit of withdrawn creative energy, maybe a little bit of surrender to a process that needs time to integrate, time to ferment, time to just rest and be. And the reason I'm pointing out this creative energy is because we're looking at the fifth house being activated with Mercury here. And this fifth house applies to our creative expression, how we express pleasure, find pleasure, as well as love affairs, casual dating, children, gambling, things like that. And so when Mercury is retrograde here, it is possible that you could feel a withdrawal of creative energy and need to find other ways to get inspiration. And for you, Aquarius, having that inspired feeling allows you to be able to do things in a more lighthearted and fun way. And who doesn't like that? But when we're in this retrograde time, you may have to find new ways or other ways in which you get that inspiration. This also can affect your confidence because you may have this feeling that things just aren't moving, or they're stuck, or because they are confusing, that it affects your confidence at a level where you maybe get the imposter syndrome activated. So please do yourself a favor. Don't compare yourself to others. And if you do get caught in that mental loop that a lot of Aquarius energy can do, stop for just a moment, make a list of all the things that you do really well, the value you bring to people and situations, to yourself, and read that, write it, go back and look at it, revisit it over and over again during the month of June. That can help. The other thing I would say is if you've had a lackluster feeling or connection in a relationship, in particular, a lover. So if you're bonded or single, this is a time where you can tap into your inner child or that inner playfulness and maybe put a little spark into it, because you may feel a little more private. So you and this person may have backroom conversations, and keep in mind when Mercury's retrograde, conversations may need to be repeated a few times. So even if you don't get the ultimate outcome on the first conversation, stay with it and have some more, because that can bring in some intimacy, that can bring in some fun and a new spark, if you will, in your relationship with this particular person. Maybe even playing a game, getting more playful in the bedroom, you know. The other thing I would say is that this is not a great time to start a new love affair. So if some of you who are single meet another person, you're doing online dating, definitely hold off on jumping in with both feet, vet the person out, give yourself time, go on the date, but just remember that what is being presented on both sides may not sound or feel really clear. And you may need to step back and reevaluate what is actually being said. Try not to go into paranoia and thinking that this person's intentionally deceiving you, but do pay attention to your intuition, because if something seems too good to be true, especially during a Mercury retrograde, it usually is. So taking your time, don't automatically commit to something without really spending time on it, creating some space. If you get a text message, an email, a phone call, whatever form of communication from this lover, this person, it might be best to step back and just go, okay, let me think about this, or I'll get back to you, that sort of thing, until you can find your intuitive body really speaking to you. Some words that you can think about during this retrograde, during this month, is things like rehearsing. So if you have a presentation or you have something that you need to teach or express to somebody, take time to rehearse the what you might say or how you might say it over and over again, so that it can help boost your confidence or give you more confidence that you might need. This is also a time, if you have felt lackluster in relationships, that you can reignite it. Or maybe there was a project or something that you had put on hold maybe a couple weeks or months ago, that you can now revisit it, bring it back to life, and give it some energy that would benefit you and the project itself. It's a good time for wrapping things up. The other thing I would say is look at rekindling as another word. The rekindle could be, some of you Aquarians will be revisiting relationships from the past, conversations from the past that could reignite or rekindle some of that passion that you felt has been missing. Now, on June 2nd, so right at the beginning of the month as well, we have Venus, our planet of love, beauty, harmony, peace, creativity, pleasure, and relationships, finances, values. So I'm giving you all these keywords to keep in mind as she enters the sign of Cancer in your 6th house. So this could further activate activity that's all about your daily life. It could be your work time, it can be your health regimen. It's where you find ritual. So you have all this pleasure in the 5th house. Now you're going to put some form of ritual to it. And so when Venus enters Cancer here, it could make you attract, it could have you attracting opportunities, people, situations that you get to nurture, that you get maybe feel really protective. Maybe your coworkers come to you and they need that motherly kind of energy that you could give them. They want to feel cared for. And so this could activate your empathetic nerve, which, be careful that you don't go into overload, empathy overload, and overgive. At the same time, it can give you a chance to be able to wrap your arms around whatever activities are being stirred up here. And you can have the resources, you can have the gentleness, the compassion, and the intuitive ability to be able to prioritize, to pick and choose. And that if there's a misunderstanding because of Mercury retrograde, that you can nurture the conversation and see the conflict or the misunderstanding as a way of bonding or a way of creating an opportunity for deeper connection and to let others feel really cared for. I would say, Aquarius, with this 6th house activation of Venus, that you may attract all of the tools you need, the resources that you need in order to accomplish your daily tasks. So if you feel overwhelmed in this deluge of emotion and energy and information, what you may find is that you also have others who want to help you succeed, want to kind of all under your wings, so to speak. I just have this image of the mother hen with Venus in Cancer here, and she wants to protect her chicks from the rain. And so that's what you should feel, is really protected, that even if let's say your schedule is blown up and Mercury is wreaking havoc where you double booked, or you've got more demands than you know what to do with, this can give you an opportunity to feel really protected and cared for by the universe. The other thing I would say, Venus in Cancer, some of you Aquarians will be looking at a health issue related to the breast or related to the stomach. And if this is you, then what Venus can do is activate the right professional to help you, the right routine to get you in shape or to get you where you want to be. If you are a single Aquarian or you are a couple, doesn't matter. If you're looking at it from a relationship standpoint, it is possible that you may be super busy with work and the daily life, and that you will have to balance out how your relationship, like if you want to go on a date, let's say on a Friday, you may have to prioritize, hey, I've got to finish this project. I've got to get this off my plate. Can we push it to Saturday, or can we push it to later in the evening? And that having that kind of gentleness and compassion around how you communicate it is going to be key, right? Another thing to put a pin on the map, June 10th, we have an eclipse, another one, and this is a new moon eclipse in Gemini, further activating that fifth house, giving you an opportunity, if you've revisited or you've reignited a particular relationship, or the way in which you find new inspiration and creativity, this can set up a new 6-month cycle with that person or situation that allows you to communicate more effectively, allows you to be more open-minded, to learn, and to also gather information that can support your pleasure. You may decide you want to learn just for the fun of it. You may decide you want to travel just for the fun of it, and you start putting some plans in place, or you get whispers of, hey, in order for me to excel at my job, I'm going to have to also do some relocation, or I'm going to have to be willing to travel more. And so that could also get activated here. And you could start to feel more hopeful that the regimen that you put in place, say with your health, or in the way in which you communicate with your work or your personal or professional life, that you find it easier flowing after Mercury goes direct, but at least you have a really good idea of where things could be heading. The other thing, the reason I keep coming back to relationship, number one, because it is up for most everybody, but number two, Mars enters Leo on June 11th, so right at this new moon eclipse, and it's in your 7th house, a partnership. So it's going to further activate, making this beautiful sextile to Gemini. So it's going to further ignite this drive and this passion about, how do I partner with somebody? Are the partners or the people I want to partner with in my life, are they the right people? Do they hold the right values? Is this really something I want to take on? Some of you may have revelations with a particular love affair that they tell you, this is who I am and this is where I'm at. And you have to go, does that really line up with how I see myself in relationship? And do I want to take whatever that issue is? Do I really want to take that on? So that's also another consideration that you'll be looking at. Also, you may be really driven to find partnership or to let one go. And I point to that because Mars will be in Leo while we have a Capricorn full moon, and that's in your 12th house. And that's in that subconscious mind, or that collective mind that pops in. And you may say, it doesn't line up with my values. It's not something I want to take on. And so it's time to separate. Mars is a separator. And so it's time for me, in order to be the best version of myself, in order for me to be really heart-centered, very Leo-like, then I need to remove that so that I can step into the next thing. And what I will offer is this common theme for everybody. And we started to experience it on the eclipse in May, on May 26th, when it was a Sagittarius eclipse. We created space. And in order to create space, by releasing something new gets to rise up. For you, Aquarius, having the full moon in Capricorn in that 12th house, anything goes. What may rise up is something that you didn't even know about because it was so hidden from that subconscious or from your conscious mind that now you get to look at it and say, can I enjoy the space created and achieve the longer term goals that I have? Because Jupiter is in Pisces here and it does retrograde in your second house on June 20th. So can I let go of some of the things holding me back from being able to truly believe I can manifest the things that I hold dear, the things that I truly value, and where I see myself in the bigger picture. So having that long range goal, having that long range mindset is going to benefit you during the month of June. It's also a good time, just a good reminder not to make major decisions in the month of June. If you do, they will most likely be revisited down the road. Nothing is ever set in stone. We have free will. We have an ability to be able to make choices moment by moment. And one other thing that's going to activate for you, Aquarians, is that June 27th, Venus will move into Leo, further activating the seventh house for you, bringing in pleasure, fun, attraction, as well as possible partnership that gives you more confirmation that the people in your life that you truly value and that you really see as a beautiful reflection of yourself are coming in or are in alignment. I would say that June, when you look back on it, probably July, August, maybe further down the road, June, I feel, is going to be very defining for you, Aquarius, within your relationships. And that is because you are not going to continue to hold on to the things or people that don't line up with you and your values anymore. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you cut them completely out of your life. It's almost like a chessboard. You may move them from one piece to another, that they're no longer, they may still play a certain role, but they're no longer playing that role in that area of your life. It may be that you do completely change roles. And with that person, let's say you're in a committed relationship, you may decide, let's just be friends. Or the opposite, we're friends, let's move into romance. That also can happen this month. And so in doing so, again, another reminder, don't jump in with both feet, don't make concrete plans, keep yourself very loose and curious this month, and continue to be in the space of, I wonder what, I wonder if, and why do I want this? You know, all those open-ended questions, write them down so that you can revisit them throughout the month and remind yourself that clarity comes when we check in with our truth, and that when we can trust our intuition to guide us. And so I offer that to you, Aquarians. Please check in with yourself on a regular basis before making any conclusions or making any major decisions, because I will tell you, not everything is as it appears to be. So that's another really quick pin on the map. If you get some sort of decision coming from the outside, the external, it may change. So even though what they may say at the beginning of June is like, nope, it's not going to happen till then. Well, all of a sudden you get news at the end of June, hey, sorry, change your mind. It actually is happening sooner. That can certainly happen. All right. Aquarians, I really hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Find me at jamiedawn.com. I'm here to be of service however I can. Enjoy the month of June. Take care.